in these great United States. With deep sorrow and aching hearts, we all have gathered here to celebrate the life of an exemplary U.S. citizen and ideal human being, Mr. Sandeep Singh Dhaliwal. As most of you know by now, Mr. Dhaliwal served as the Harris County Sheriff's Deputy for the last decade. He was performing a routine traffic stop when the driver of the stopped car followed Deputy Dhaliwal and shot him from behind. He was pronounced dead a short time later. This evildoer was soon taken into sheriff's custody and now awaits trial for capital murder. Sandeep Singh Dhaliwal is survived by 3 young children, wife, and father. Mr. Dhaliwal also supported a beard and a turban as required by his Sikh faith while he wore law enforcement blue uniform. While perfection is reserved by God alone, Sandeep, in the human flesh, endeared to all of us because of his truly outstanding human qualities, such as limitless generosity, uplifting outlook on life, pleasant in his demeanor and behavior, his perpetual smile for all, unending quest of service to others, etc., etc. Service of fellow human beings was the center of Sandeep's life. We will hear about his admirable service in the blue uniform as a Harris County Sheriff's Deputy during the next hour from his colleagues and superiors who observed Sandeep from close range and first hand. But during this hour, we will focus on his Sikh faith and his faith community. My remarks should provide you some insights that Sikh faith is very compatible with the U.S. Constitution and culture. Because of the religiously required facial hair and turbans, Sikhs are the most visible minority in North America. While we are celebrating the 550th birthday of our founder Guru Nanak this year, Sikh religion is still relatively young as compared to the other major religions of the world. There are about 25 million adherents of Sikh faith worldwide. As a percent of the total population, in Canada, Sikhs represent about 2 to 2.5%, which is more than their percentage in India. However, Sikhs are a much smaller minority in the United States, about 750,000, or about 0.2% of the US population. Sikhism is world's 5th largest major religion. It has its own religious scriptures and ethnic identity. Clearly, Sikhs are readily recognizable with their facial hair and turbans. Throughout history, Sikhs have taken up arms to defend religious freedoms of others and their own. Just like Sandeep Singh Dhaliwal did, many Sikhs now serve in the U.S. military and local and state law enforcement organizations. Captain Simrat Pal Singh, sitting behind me, will highlight their presence here soon, and we will learn from him how Sandeep impacted their lives. Sikhs, through religious teaching and practice, are self-reliant, enterprising, and community-minded, earning an honest living, praying before the universal God, and sharing their blessings with others less fortunate are the three pillars of Sikh religion. For Sikhs like Sandeep Singh Dhaliwal, sharing included service to mankind in many different ways, including natural disaster relief work. He won countless hearts and minds by spearheading the distribution of relief supplies to flooded areas after Hurricane Harvey in South Texas and Maria in Puerto Rico several years ago. The Sikh tradition has a very rich history. Sikhs are a resilient community despite a long struggle of suffering and displacement since the Mughal period. Over the centuries, the Sikhs have developed a deep legacy of defending religious liberty. They believe in ensuring everyone's freedom to practice religion of their choice. Guru Tegh Bahadur, the ninth Guru, embraced martyrdom to safeguard religious freedoms of other than his own religion and protected them from forced conversion. The Sikhs have endeavored to uphold this ideal throughout their history. Such experiences taught Sikhs the strengths of religious conviction and a healthy resolve to thwart tyrannical exercise of state power. Coupled with Guru Nanak's emphasis on honest work, these principles translate into a spirit of fierce self-reliance. The American Republic's traditions of right to bear arms, self-government, free enterprise, and freedom of religion are commitments deeply rooted in Sikh history. Sikh Americans are highly successful businessmen, doctors, nurses, engineers, and lawyers. Most importantly, Sikh Americans proudly serve in various law enforcement agencies and military services of the United States, as Captain Simranpal Singh will discuss further. Today, at Sandeep Singh Dhaliwal's funeral, the Sikh American Institute commits to forging more Sandeeps will defend the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness of all Americans. The Sikh American Institute will host, fund, train young Sikhs to go to serve in our country's premier law enforcement and military services. As one Sandeep Singh Dhaliwal has been taken away from us, we will give America many more. Unfortunately, largely due to their distinct identity, Sikh Americans have often become random targets of hate crimes and killing. In 2012, as Sikhs prayed in the Gurdwara at Oak Creek, Wisconsin, they became targets of a mass shooting where Sikhs were killed. This was the deadliest attack on Sikh place of worship in the United States. Our lawmakers, like Senator Ted Cruz, do their best to combat evil in our society. However, as Senator Cruz will speak to us soon on Sandeep Dhaliwal's exemplary service and sacrifice, lawmakers' work in this area may never be done. Evil is here to stay from times immemorial. We cannot wish away, we cannot legislate it out. Sandeep Singh Dhaliwal stood for Sikh values and he exemplified Sikh faith. Even in his death, he has brought a tremendous sense of pride among all Sikhs, Americans, and human beings all over the world. Among the most commonly practiced Sikh values is equality among all men and equality among men and women. Respect, tolerance, and unconditional support of others' religious and cultural beliefs are also central to Sikh religion and culture, which Sandeep practiced during his life, cut short by an evil accession on September 27 this year. Hundreds of you have traveled hundreds or even thousands of miles to attend Sandeep's funeral. Many elected officials at the local, state, and federal level sitting in front of the first 3 or 4 rows, international representatives, and many leaders of the various Sikh organizations. Ravi is here from Sikh Aid. Sikhs all over the world have heard about his humanitarian and relief work. United Sikhs folks are here there are many other Sikh leaders present and other community leaders to pay their final respects to Sandeep Singh Dhaliwal. On behalf of the grieving Dhaliwal family and the entire concerned population of Houston, I thank you from the depths of my heart for your presence here today. You have made a loud and bold statement that good always prevails over evil. We are sorry that we cannot acknowledge your participation individually or even as groups due to time constraints. However, I assure you that the great soul of Sandeep knows why you are here. Sandeep Singh Dhaliwal's human body, which we just viewed, will be cremated soon. But memory of his prolific service to mankind will be etched in our hearts and minds forever. May God bless Sandeep Singh Dhaliwal's departed soul, all of you, and the United States of America. Thank you.